Hey everyone! Summoner spell Teleport is used a lot in competitive play, not just for TPing across the map and making plays, but because of how strong it is for laning as well. It's much stronger in higher elo because using it effectively comes down to proper wave management. So today, we're going to watch how Caps uses TP to win a Sylas vs LeBlanc lane. As always, the concepts here will apply to any matchup in mid and not just these two champions. Alright, let's break down the matchup and create some game plans. Sylas is an AP melee bruiser versus LeBlanc an AP ranged assassin. Sylas has more wave clear, but LeBlanc has the range advantage and their damage is about even. Sylas' game plan will be, Mission 1, let the wave push. Sylas can't try to push the wave versus a ranged champion early on. He'll take too much auto damage and be really easy to gank, especially going against LeBlanc, the best mid in the game for setting up easy kills for her jungler using her chain. Mission 2, don't be afraid to trade. With Sylas having TP, he doesn't want to be afraid to trade with LeBlanc since he can TP back to lane with full health. The Mission 3, thin the wave. TPing back to lane with full health won't matter if LeBlanc crashes the wave and gets a clean reset, so he wants to thin the wave with a strong wave clear and prevent that. Then for LeBlanc, Mission 1, slow push the wave. With a big wave, she has a lot of minions to fight with her, and she can get some level leads. Mission 2, harass when Sylas goes for last hits. Since she has the range advantage, she wants to poke with spells and auto attacks whenever he goes for a minion. And then Mission 3, crash waves and don't let Sylas freeze. Crashing the wave is really important to get a clean recall and not let Sylas abuse his TP. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. At the start of the lane, before the minions touch, LeBlanc lands a chain onto Caps, but if you look at the bottom left, he hasn't leveled up an ability yet. This is something very important that you should get into a habit of, because level 1 can be situational for different champions or matchups. So he levels up his E to negate the damage from LeBlanc's chain and get an auto attack off as well. You could do the same with Diana here, as starting Q or W on her is viable, but if you get hit with LeBlanc chain, you can level up W and block the damage. Anyways, Caps doesn't use the second part of his E to go in for two reasons. First, all 6 minions are alive. If he goes in and tries to trade with LeBlanc, all the minions will aggro onto him. Also, he's working on Mission 1 here, he doesn't want to push the wave, he just wants to let it push to him. After that, LeBlanc walks up pretty aggressively, so Caps starts backing up, but then notice he turns around and lets LeBlanc hit him. So what he's doing here is running away far enough that LeBlanc does decide to auto him, so she's going to draw aggro from all the minions, so her one auto attack isn't going to do as much damage to Caps as the minions will do to LeBlanc. I've seen a lot of players in this situation just let themselves get zoned away, but it's important to know when the enemy laner is overextended and will outtrade themselves like this. Then, as the CS starts to get low, Caps notices LeBlanc's positioning on her own Mission 2, so he closes the distance quickly with his E using his passive to hit her, grab the CS, and thin the wave for Mission 3 as well. This is as efficient as it gets when it comes to a trade, harassing and controlling the wave at the same time. As the next wave arrives, LeBlanc gets aggressive looking for more auto poke, so Caps is going to use a small movement concept here to trade back for Mission 3. Watch how he moves back and forth here multiple times, running at LeBlanc then turning around. So what's happening is LeBlanc is moving up to auto, so he acts like he's running away to catch her moving up towards him, then he turns around right away to auto attack back. Then he does the same thing as she turns around for another auto, so she's quick to back up again. This concept works really well in melee vs range matchups, basically scaring them out of range with just movement. Caps makes a risky play after that though, walking up for last hit when LeBlanc is about to hit level 2. Now, we don't recommend doing this because you should just give up this minion, but the way he goes about it is worth taking note of. A lot of players here would use their E as soon as LeBlanc jumps in. The issue with this is that you lose your mobility to dodge her chain, which locks you in place for her to auto multiple times. And auto attack damage stacks up really fast in the early game. He doesn't use his E because he's inside his minion wave, so he knows she can't hit the chain. Then as he walks away from the minions, he uses his E to dodge the chain, and the shield soaks the electrocute damage. Now the wave is going to crash on the tower where LeBlanc is going to look for heavy harass. As the melee champion in this situation, it's important to learn how to CS under tower without taking too much damage. Sometimes you have to give up CS and sometimes you don't. A lot of it's going to come down to if your abilities are up. So here, Caps knows LeBlanc is going to use W on him when he goes for this minion. And since his E is up, he uses his passive auto attack that he got from using his W for a minion, then E to block LeBlanc W, then another passive auto quickly to win the trade. Also, if you're the range champion here and wondering why you take tower shots when going for what LeBlanc just did, there is a trick to it and it's easy. If we rewind and watch LeBlanc, she uses W the moment the tower shoots another minion. Towers have auto attack timers too, so if you go for harass as it's shooting something else, it can't hit you right away. Anyways, they both hit level 3 as the third wave arrives, and this is where the lane will be decided. Both champions have much more kill pressure with all three of their abilities, but LeBlanc has Ignite and Caps doesn't. This means the only way Caps gets a kill is if LeBlanc really trolls. It'll be really hard to kill her. His job is to use his TP to get some sort of experience advantage instead. So let's see what happens. As this cannon minion starts to get low, Caps walks up, and LeBlanc is looking to punish for mission 2 of course. So Caps uses his Q to trade back for his own mission 2, and his E to negate some of the damage from LeBlanc. Then uses his passive autos to thin the wave some more for mission 3. Alright, so let's take a look at the wave here. It's about even, but LeBlanc is still pressuring. As LeBlanc, this is when her focus should start to be more for mission 3. She needs a good reset before Sylas uses TP. Caps is also focusing hard on mission 3 now too, since he knows LeBlanc should be looking to crash the wave. And any damage he can get in for mission 2 is also important, because if he can freeze, the lower he gets LeBlanc, the more dangerous the freeze is. So think about it this way. Let's say he doesn't trade much with LeBlanc and he freezes the wave, and then he TPs back. If LeBlanc has 90% health, the freeze doesn't do anything since he can't pressure her off the wave and actually kill her. But if they hard trade with each other and LeBlanc is under half health, then he TPs back, he can push her off the wave with his huge health advantage, and then she wouldn't be able to crash it. That's why mission 2 is so important. So Caps uses a Q for some poke and uses his passive autos with some normal autos on the wave for mission 3. Then LeBlanc uses her Q and W on the wave to try and crash it. Do you think this was the right decision by her? This is a tricky question because we just said she needs to focus on the wave, but the issue is she forgot about mission 1 along the way. Slow pushes. Slow pushes are the best way to get resets because even with a lot of wave clear, it's not enough to kill like 12 minions. LeBlanc is trying to crash just one wave, which doesn't work when Sylas is thinning and doesn't let the range minions hit the tower. As soon as this happens, if I was LeBlanc in this situation, I know the lane is about to be won or lost. LeBlanc has no more potions and is really low on mana, and Caps made sure the wave didn't crash. So right after Caps makes sure the wave doesn't crash, he immediately starts his recall. LeBlanc tries to walk up and land chain, but couldn't get into range without being in tower range. If she walked up and stopped Caps' recall, but took a tower shot, it wouldn't matter as the tower would do too much damage to her. Alright, so it's doomed for LeBlanc now. She's not going to be able to crash the wave before Caps TPs, and he TPs right away on top of this last minion, and with this much of a health advantage, LeBlanc has no choice but to back off and take a bad recall, while Caps drags this wave to the side and freezes it. Now, the blue wave is going to kill this red wave, denying LeBlanc all of this CS. This is a cannon wave, which makes it even worse than normal. Caps is going to get a huge experience lead here. In high elo play, the lane is over at that point. Like if this happened in a professional game, it's over for LeBlanc. We lose lane and mid is unwinnable unless something happens with the junglers. But since it's solo queue, we'll keep going and see what happens. As soon as LeBlanc gets back to lane, she goes for a trade. She wants to break this freeze and has the minion advantage, so Caps can't all in. The trade is about even, but then Caps hits level 5. Now, Caps can let the freeze break because he got what he wanted from it. He got the huge experience lead in his winning trades, so we can start to look to pressure now. He lands another Q on LeBlanc to pop her passive, but with the way she's playing, it's obvious the enemy jungler Lee Sin is here. She's not going to be this aggressive unless she's baiting. So both mid laners are pinging for their jungler to come, so it's just a 2v2 waiting to break out. That's why Caps isn't going all in right now. Then he starts to get aggressive to bait the 2v2, thinking it would be an easy fight, but his Gragas turned off his brain, thinking LeBlanc wouldn't use W to go back and dodge his E, then just randomly throws his Q. The enemy Lee Sin noticed his Gragas was trolling, so he jumps in on Caps, forcing him to flash over, a classic case of jungle difference. So that's kinda what sucks about solo queue. Even if you play better in mid, sometimes your jungler is outclassed and you get punished for it. So now Caps needs to focus on crashing this wave with his jungler so he can reset. While doing that though, the enemy LeBlanc tries to jump in with W to stop them from crashing. So Caps uses his E and W to kill her, hits level 6, and ults Lee Sin to kill him as well. Alright, let's recap. At the start of the lane, Caps didn't level up an ability until he got hit by LeBlanc chain and used his E to trade and block her damage. As the lane went on, Caps made sure to trade as much as possible, while also using passive autos on the wave to keep thinning it. Around level 3 is when LeBlanc started to misplay wave control, not using slow pushes anymore, and focusing too much on harass. Caps thinned it and made sure that the range minions didn't hit the tower, then immediately recalled and TP'd back the lane so LeBlanc couldn't crash it, and dragged the minions to the side to freeze. LeBlanc was forced to recall and lost a whole cannon wave plus a little more, which won Caps the lane. But afterwards, a 2v2 happened where Caps almost got trolled by his jungler and needed to flash away. They went to crash the wave after that, where LeBlanc got a little too aggressive and they ended up killing them both. But the important part of this video was how to play against TP as the range champion and how to use TP as the melee to get experience leads and not kills. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching.